Let's talk about something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. We're diving into one of the most incredible and, yeah, maybe one of the most unsettling new frontiers in technology. The idea that AI could one day decode our innermost thoughts and memories.
Okay, just picture this for a second. You're scrolling on your phone, doing your thing, and an ad pops up. But it's for something weirdly specific. It's for a super cringy memory from when you were a kid, something you have never ever told a single soul about. You didn't Google it, you didn't text about it. It's a thought that has only ever existed inside your own head.
I know, right? It sounds like an episode of Black Mirror. But what if I told you that the actual science to make this happen isn't just some theory anymore? It's literally being built in labs right now.
And well, that's exactly where we're going to start. We are stepping into a brand new era where our most private experiences, our thoughts, could become just another product on the market. A thought for sale.
And look, this is not some distant, far-off future we're talking about. The breakthroughs that are blurring that line are happening as we speak. The technology to peek inside the human mind, it's moving way faster than most people think.
So how in the world is any of this even possible? Let's break down the actual tech that's making it all work.
It really all comes down to this thing called a brain-computer interface, or a BCI for short. Now, at its core, you can just think of it as a bridge. It's a bridge between your brain's natural electrical signals and a computer, letting them talk directly to each other.
So there are basically two ways to do this. The non-invasive way is kind of like trying to eavesdrop on a conversation through a really thick wall. You can get the general idea, the vibe of what's being said, but you're going to miss all the details. But the invasive methods? Whoa! That's like putting a live microphone right next to the speakers. The clarity you get is honestly both stunning and kind of terrifying.
And we're not just talking about moving a cursor on a screen here. I mean, in labs today, scientists are pulling visual images straight from people's brain scans. They're figuring out words that people are only thinking, not saying out loud. They can even get a read on basic emotions and what you intend to do. This isn't theoretical, it's happening.
And hey, if you need any more proof that this stuff is moving out of the laboratory and into the real world, just look at Neuralink. They've already put their first implant into a human patient. The starting gun for this whole new era has officially been fired.
Of course, all this incredible progress brings up some really dark questions. You have to wonder what happens when this kind of technology goes fully commercial.
So who would even want this neural data, the raw info from your brain? Well, turns out, pretty much everyone. Can you imagine advertisers targeting ads based on your most emotional memories? Or a potential employer scanning your brain for past mistakes during a job interview? What about governments wanting access to memories they think are important for national security?
Someone put it perfectly when they said that the fundamental line that has always separated our private inner world from the outside world, well, it's starting to dissolve. And that is a really profound and honestly pretty chilling thought. Okay, but before we all panic and start building tinfoil hats, let's just take a breath and get a serious dose of reality here. That dystopian future, it isn't knocking on our door tomorrow.
For one thing, the technical challenges are still enormous. We're likely decades away from being able to pull a specific, detailed memory out of someone's head like you're downloading a file. And even if you could, the AI we have today is still pretty brittle. It can be fooled and make some really weird mistakes. And here's a crucial point. You can't just secretly scan someone's mind. Most of these systems need surgery and the person's active, willing cooperation.
And here's something you really have to understand about memories. As neuroscientist Dr. Sarah Chen points out, they aren't like little video files stored on a hard drive. No. Every single time we remember something, our brain actually rebuilds that memory from scratch, and it gets colored by how we're feeling right now. They're messy, they're alive. So the memory an AI might read is really just one version of a story that's always changing.
It's also super important to see where the research is actually focused right now. I mean, look at this. A full 90% of the work being done on BCIs isn't about mind reading for profit. It's about life-changing therapies, helping paralyzed patients communicate again, treating severe PTSD, and basically giving people back control of their own lives.
And the good news is, we're not just sitting around waiting for the problems to show up. Scientists, ethicists, and lawmakers are already on it. They're actively working on safeguards, coming up with new ideas like neural rights to make sure our mental privacy is protected before the tech gets too far ahead of us.
Which brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important point of all. The technology is coming, there's no stopping that, but the future it creates, that's not written in stone.
History gives us a pretty clear warning here. Think about it. The internet and social media,
They started with these amazing, noble goals. But because we didn't think through the consequences, we ended up with surveillance capitalism, addiction, all that stuff. With BCIs, the stakes are just infinitely higher. We're not talking about your search history anymore. We're talking about the very fabric of who you are.
So we have to wrestle with some really tough questions. For example, if this tech could prove without a doubt someone's guilt or innocence in a crime, should we use it? Where do you draw that line?
Or what about something more personal? If you had the chance to completely erase your most painful, traumatic memory, would you do it? Even if that awful experience is part of what made you who you are today?
And that leads to the biggest question of all. In a world where your thoughts aren't private anymore, what even happens to the idea of privacy itself? Is having a private inner world a fundamental human right, or is it just a temporary biological glitch that we're about to engineer away?
So you see, in the end, this isn't really about the technology. It's about us. The tech is going to keep getting better. That's a given. The real question, the part we actually have control over, is what kind of rules, what kind of ethics, and what kind of society we decide to build around it. And right now, that choice is still completely ours to make.